Master Grade Sinanju. Hey, what's up again, everybody? It's Robert184, 2Rs, 2Bs, gundam.tk, and forget about the white Sinanju Stein back there. It's time to take a look at the all-red, the original Sinanju, at least in terms of release order. You've seen the unbox and the parts, now it's time to turn that pile into that beast. And my first impression when this guy's all put together here, I've seen him on friends' shelves, I've seen him on store shelves, put together, painted, anytime you see this guy, especially when you put him together yourself, you just get to see how incredible the MS design here. The colors are absolutely going to pop, the proportions are absolutely perfect, the gold bling is the ultimate accessory. Throw on a commander's antenna there, this looks like the ultimate Gundam adversary. Articulation now, where the front skirts are going to move independently, but you can see that the hosing is going to stop them from moving up too much, and in fact they're going to spring down into place there. The side skirts are going to go up about that much, and the legs, if you want to bring it forward for a red comet kick, you can lift this up and bring this up here. So you could get the leg all the way forward if you don't mind just moving the skirt off to the side like that. However, part of that may just be to the hip dislocating itself there. With full splits a possibility there, and you've already seen that very impressive knee joint mechanism there. Feels like the hips are going to stay in place there properly, although they are going to be sliding forward and back there, so something you want to be cognizant of there. Great looking there, and down at the ankles, you're going to be able to move this side to side and forward to back quite well, just not as well as the Stein. The upper body here is going to turn just about this much here, as you can see, just all sorts of things are bumping into each other there. And it can lean off to either side, but it doesn't really want to stay there. It's just going to bounce back in place. It will lean forward, though, and stay, but if you put it back, it's again going to come more or less forward there. And you are always going to have to be cognizant of the extra weight that you're going to be getting there because of the backpack. The arm here is going to pull forward at a 45-degree angle, and you could rotate it all the way around if you wanted to, armor included. And you can also spin the arm there and get that impressive all the way up bend there. The shoulder piece here is going to move up and down before the spikes bang in, and for the thrusters themselves back here, they're going to be able to move up and down, and they move independently there on a ball joint, and these thrusters are going to rotate all the way around, and for in and out, they're going to be able to move very, very well, even coming somewhat forward. For height comparison now, you can see that next to the Stein, that the top of their head should be exactly lined up, as they have similar frames there on the inside. But outside of the general similarities in shape, you can just see that there's going to be a whole lot more trim and details on the regular Sinanju, and when you add on that commander's antenna and the cooler thrusters on the back, he is definitely going to take the edge in terms of overall awesomeness. Evening out the height advantage that the full armor unicorn is going to have with the help of an action base one underneath, you can see that if they were standing side by side, that the Sinanju, going back to Char and Amuro, should be a lot bigger, bulkier, and speedier looking. Definitely is going to be there with a head height larger. The only difference is that he doesn't going to have 15 bazookas strapped on, at least not in just this version. And speaking of the original white unicorn, here's Amuro Ray's original granddaddy RX-78-2 titanium, absolutely paltry next to this red comet. Wannabe, could be, will he be? No, probably not. But next to the insanity of Amuro's double fin funnel new Gundam there, you know that we're all just waiting for December and hopefully a Sazabi 2.0 to put beside either of these guys. If you watched my parts video, you saw that I was missing a trigger finger there, so I've just borrowed one from Banagher in the Unicorn Gundam, but you're going to have to be careful with these when you load it up. Because of the wrist, the sleeves look fantastic, but it's going to prevent the proper rotating of the rifle in hand. But even though the wrist feels a little bit loose there, as you can pull it to the out position and then it's going to feel a little bit floppy, usually in a downwards direction there. With the right twist of the arm, you can have him looking down the barrel of the beam rifle, but I'm less impressed with the connection point over here for the shield. It definitely comes across as being heavy and not all that secure. But the more time you spend with either of these, the beam rifle just seems like it doesn't really want to stay in the hand all that well, and that shield between the connector moving and the arm moving and just the limited way that you're going to be able to twist it around into desirable poses, not so hot so far, although the looks really second to none. Overall, the legs are going to feel okay in terms of ground posing, except when he goes toppling backwards like that. But while the legs are just okay, when you put the big beam sabers in there with their jagged edges and the tonfa in the forearms, this is looking fantastic, and the sleeves not causing any problems whatsoever. Unless you want to talk about how awesome they look. The twin axes in hand are going to look pretty good, except for the fact that they're going to have a lot more weight than the beam sabers, so those already weak wrists are going to be collapsing downwards. And this hanging trick here for the shield is going to look okay, especially when you compare it to the weak connection that it's got on the forearms. However, you're not going to have any posing options. Nonetheless, it's a huge step up over an HGUC Zaku Heat Hawk. But with the help of an action base 1 here and the help of a rock-solid connecting point down there, it's going to look great here, because first of all, you get to bend the knees in more ways there, point the toes down, bring the thrusters out, open up the backpack here so you've got a whole bunch more thrust going out there. And when you put the larger axes together here for the Beam Naginata, with a come hither and die look on his face, this Sinanju is ready for business. And here, surprisingly, that left arm is doing a good job of handling the extra weight there from the 2 large effect parts there. The grenade launcher is going to look pretty good no matter which mode you've got it in. You probably should have 2 hands on it to make this one look great, but when you just see the size of those effect parts, this is an absolute melee beast you do not want to meet up close. And for the much vaunted bazooka here, you're going to be running into 3 sets of problems there. First, the traditional problems associated with the bazooka here. It would be nice if the trigger could move back actually as well as to the front, but you're going to have to be careful, as if you try to rotate it, it's going to be bumping into the sleeves and the angle that you have to get the elbow at. Nothing seems to cooperate all that well. It's possible, just not friendly. And there it is, properly attached in hand, minus 1 finger there. Again, the awkwardness of the elbow and the wrist and the shoulder and just getting a bazooka anywhere with an unhelpful grip. Still, you can do it, as long as you don't mind him looking down the barrel like that. Still looks like a mean piece of artillery. But if you're not crazy about the under the arm, they're going to be giving you so many different play options between the shield and the beam rifle here, and you'd think there might be weight issues, but so far none whatsoever. The lock mechanism there with the axis is going to be looking good, and as he gets it ready to deploy against the general reveal, it was working there for a minute. But even though there are weight issues there, the fact that he can hold that much gun in just the extended right hand, yes, it's going to be drooping down there about 30 degrees. Nonetheless, if you get him up aerial, that is looking pretty impressive from something that started out as a skinny BR. As well, though, you can use that wrist to your advantage, as if you put the black side underneath, it can serve as a cup there, which means it can hold even more weight up in seemingly unexpected directions. And with a simple straightening and lifting of the arm, there it is, parallel to the ground, perhaps unparalleled in coolness. That'll wrap up my look at the mobile suit mode here for the Sinanju, but stick around for my final verdict. So many options and so many good and bad things. Hear them all here. And of course, I'd love to hear what you think with a comment down below as he waves goodbye. Thanks for watching. See ya. That's not a commander's antenna. This is a commander's antenna. Now that's how you do a unicorn V-fin. And now something pretty unique here for my videos. Em, you're not a Gundam fan at all, are you?
No, not really.
No, and you've seen them sitting on my shelves here. What's your impression of this one?
This one's pretty cool.
Does he stack up as cooler, you'd say, than some of the other ones you've seen?
I haven't had a really close look, but it's pretty cool. One thing I did notice, though, is its head reminds me of a rooster.
You're not allowed to say that. People are going to be angry.
Oh, I'm not allowed to say that.
Yeah, get out of here.
Okay.